Hello loves and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a video that Spirit told me to do for you guys to show you guys how to do this, especially because it's springtime and we're getting closer and closer into, summertime. So this is definitely something that you guys can, if you wanted to do this, you guys can kind of pick up your pieces and collect and all of the things throughout the summertime. But we're going to be doing shell divination today. And there's definitely many ways culturally that different people do it. I'm going to be showing you guys a very neutral way to work with them. I have a lot of crystals around just to like hold the mat down sturdily, and just to also help with the energies. I'm also going to be using my pendulum mat for this. You can do this in different ways. I'm using a pendulum mat. You can do this with just a regular sheet if you wanted to. You can also write, take a piece of paper and just have that there. But the mat's going to help. It has, obviously, it's fabric, so it's going to help with when the seashells fall, reducing cracking of the pieces, because when you're like throwing seashells, pieces can break here and there. And so you want to try to be as protective as possible. So that's why we're doing it that way. But before I get too ahead of the game, before we get started, definitely don't forget to sign up for the community energy healing that we'll be doing on the 15th, which is going to be a monthly series for energy healing that we're going to be doing. So it's meant to be low cost energy healing services for those who need the energy healing, but can't afford like a really large price, because I know that energy healing, it's a lot to channel the energy and to do energy healing work. It's a lot just to channel that, but it's something that I did want to offer, and Spirit told me to offer it. So it's going to be on a month-to-month basis. So stay tuned for that as well. Also, in addition to herbalism series, we're going to expand it on YouTube. So you guys will be seeing videos on how to make different medicines on the YouTube channel. So you guys can also incorporate that within your practice. And also do not forget to sign up for the 13 Octave Lahochi certification. That's happening both this month and in June. This is going to be the early bird, pretty much the early bird sale before we, in a very small group before we do the larger groups in the fall. So if you wanted to, learn and get certified in 13 Octave Lahochi, which is an energy healing modality, definitely make sure that you sign up. There's also new dates for the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive. With that being said, we're going to jump in and we're going to get started. Lots of updates. We're going to jump in and we're going to get started. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of different ways to do this. First, I'm going to basically introduce you to each shell first, so we can talk about it. And we're going to start with this one. So this is a scallop shell. Okay. So when it comes to the scallop shells, the different shells, they kind of function a little bit like, think of them as like rocks or crystals, but for the sea specifically, even though there are crystals that you can find at the sea, including the sand itself. But different seashells have different properties. So when it comes to scallops are really amazing for your own sensuality practice, for healing, love, glamour, and beauty working. So that's something that, you can work with a scallop for if that's something that you wanted to do. And we're going to incorporate that into the session itself. The next one we're going to talk about is this beautiful baby right here. This is called the moon shell. It's basically a snail shell. And these are really amazing for your intuition, for spiritual development. It is really great to tap into your subconscious. And also, one of the ways that I personally like to use it is to contact, I use it as almost like a little bit of a telephone with my water spirits. I work with these a lot when I'm, how you hold it up to your ear, you hear the ocean when it comes to different seashells. I do that a lot with these, just to contact my spirits. They're really great for working with water, and especially your emotional and your intuitive energies in your cycles, in the different waves that they come in as well. Really great for looking at lies and illusions, breaking down illusions, deception, those kind of things. really great for that as well. So that's one of the reasons why we're incorporating the moon as well. I think it's important. The next one we're going to be looking at is called a clam shell. So clam shells are really good for love workings. They're also really good for protection, for communication, to bring in balance as well. They're really just really amazing for that. For me, there's a specific, I mean, as far as keeping it basic, we're going to talk about the flipping and opening part. We're going to be talking about how they fall, and I'm going to be breaking that down for you guys so you guys can, you know, understand how I'm personally going to be reading these. The next one that we're going to look at is, let me just make sure it gets, oh, I dropped it. Hold on. There we go. This is going to be the Cockle shell. This one is really amazing for love, protection. This is really great for different types of relationships, including friendships, and tapping into your inner child as well. So I really like working with this one as well. And of course, we gotta talk about her. So this one, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, especially if you work within the ATRs, you already know. But they're really amazing for money workings, prosperity, fertility, also divination, your own like divine femininity as well. Really great for prosperity workings, which is why we're incorporating it in here for money workings. Traditionally, this was also traded as money, so I mean, you already know. And then I'm going to be having 2 towers in here. I'm going to have basically close to, not really fully black tower, but I'm also going to have a white tower. So towers are really great for like vitality, energy. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to make sure it's okay. I'm trying to make sure it stays focused, but I keep moving my hand. Vitality, action, passion. They're really great in order to kind of like, especially if you're trying to look at or read in a reading, like what direction you should be headed in. These are great for that. I'm going to be using the white and the black in 2 different kind of ways. Specifically the black, I want it to represent, you know, what actions, like where the energy is that I'm like, actions I'm taking that I'm blocking myself with. And the white is going to be what direction I actually should be headed in. So that's why I'm incorporating 2. If you only have 1 tower, that's totally fine in the reading. And of course, you don't have to incorporate the other things that I'm incorporating in here. You can literally do the shell divination just with shells. And that's perfectly fine. Like you could still read, but I wanted to incorporate some other elements, and we're also going to be talking about this one, but I wanted to incorporate a couple of different crystals because I got some of these really tiny crystals and I was like, oh, this would be a great time to incorporate these babies in here. So that's what I'm going to do. And I also got some smaller crystal like stones that I got from the beach. I got 4 right here. I like to pick up the small ones for these particular reasons because I like to have a shell divination just kind of wrapped like in one of the, what's it called? One of the cloth bags, and I like to have them like so I could just carry them around, and when I need to whip out a reading I can do so. So I'm going to be using these 4. There you go. For that. And these specifically are going to represent grounding and where the grounding needs to happen. If there's a lack in grounding, depending on the other shells that come up, then I'm going to know exactly, you know, what the focus is, what I should be aware about, what I should, you know, be mindful of, like not necessarily like ignoring what the messages are coming up, like very much like if it lands on, like, let's say it lands on Capricorn, because I am going to be working with the pendulum mat specifically, and I'm going to break down how I'm going to be working with it, but this is going to signify where I just need a little bit more grounding as well. And depending on what lands around it, I'm going to know as well. And then we're going to be talking about this one right here. I'm probably going to butcher the name of it as far as pronouncing it, but it's called the Nautilus. Because I'm really bad at pronouncing these in English. Anyway, this one is really, really amazing to tap into your higher self. This one is also really amazing for your growth and your expansion within your life as well. And when it comes to maintaining order and like when it comes to balance within your life, this is also really, really, really good for that. So that's what we're going to be using all of these for when it comes to the shells and the specific rocks that I got from the beach. And then I'm just incorporating a couple of different crystals that I wanted to just bring in. I have a little teeny weeny rose quartz in here. I have a little teeny weeny red jasper in here. I have a little teeny weeny citrine, and I have a little teeny weeny agate in here. Okay, so those are the ones that we're going to be incorporating into this reading. So what I'm going to do, and what you should do is that you should actively, you know, work on consecrating them. There's different ways to go about doing this, and, you know, depending on how you want to do this work, it's up to you. But the way I prefer doing it, because I work with the sea, obviously the ocean water a lot, is by using that to just kind of like hold it in, put it in the water, consecrate them. I already did this before I started this reading specifically, so I don't have to move everything around to show you guys this. But that's one of the ways that you can do it. You can hold it inside of ocean water, hold it in your hands, and activate the properties for each, for the divination that you want to do. Ask your ancestors also to bless the tools that you're using for divination and for the readings that you're going to be doing. Ask spirit and your guides, and if you have water spirits, this would be a great time to ask them to speak through this. And you're just going to hold in your hands, put it in this ocean water, in the sea water, and you're just going to pray over it, activate it. You can also run it under incense just to cleanse it. I already did all of this. I just want to just kind of show you guys how I am putting this together. And you can then, after you consecrate them, and you can basically say a prayer and call spirit in to do a reading. And so if you're doing something like this where you have like a pendulum mat, you're going to have a lot of different kind of elements here. You have numbers here. We have yes, no, maybe, this, because of course it's a pendulum mat, so this is like where it swings, right? Then we have the days of the week, and we have the zodiac signs here. So obviously, these little quadrants, you can work with them as if you were doing, you know, like your natal chart. You can actually print out your natal chart, and you can also like do a divination reading and ask, hey, what area of my life should I be focusing on? What house, blah, blah, should I be focusing on? All those kind of things. But the way it looks like when I'm just kind of, because this is like the bigger piece, I'm just scooping all of them, all of the pieces in here. And you're just holding it together. To shake it just like that. This is just going to be like, just to show you guys how this would be. You can shake it just like that. Hello, red jasper. And you can just ask spirit for your messages, and then you just let it rock. Let it rock. Okay. It's very interesting that this tower, the black one, just pooped out over here. And then you basically read where it's falling, and it really much tells you what you need to focus on. So first of all, we have this in Pisces. Okay, and it's upside down. So you have the option of whether or not you want to read reversals. That's up to you. Like if this were to come up like this, obviously there's a stone in here. Wonderful. So you can kind of read how you want to read it. If you want to read like reversals with the shells, you can. Generally speaking, if they're flipped over like this to me, okay, personally, to Abby, this signifies something that's protected. The openness, being flipped open, can be something that I either need to focus on or something that's vulnerable, like depending on what pieces are going on around there. It can signify, you know, what I need to, you know, focus on a little bit more, or what I need to protect a little bit more as well. So you can go in and you can see the shells, and you can see what came up together. So we have, remember when I said the energy of just the pebbles that I get from the crystal rocks that I got from the beach. Sorry, it's focusing. That these are meant to be a grounding, so that's what they're representing to me. I like that the red jasper is sitting right next to it by Aries, because that just tells me that during Aries season, I am going to be actively a little bit more grounded. There's certain things that I'm going to be able to solidify during this period of time. And I'm ultimately going to be able to do a little bit more work. Especially, you can also work with the energy of the crystals that you're incorporating. If you wanted to add crystals in here, y'all know that I have my Venus in Aquarius, so I'm not even surprised that this is like in the little quadrant of Aquarius. I'm not even surprised. I'm also not surprised with the Pisces and the Cowrie shell. It's not surprising to me. There's a stone right sitting on Virgo, so that's definitely, I could be focusing on healing work, which is funny. that's actually something that I am focusing on. So that's interesting. And then you can kind of, you need to move stuff around, you can. But the fact that this is also in the Scorpio quadrant, and then we have this one as well, there's definitely some balance that's coming in. There's some healing. There might be some sexual healing as well, because it's right under Scorpio, and it's really interesting because we talked about the scallop being sexual healing, sensual healing, love healing as well. So there could be some stuff going on there. And then there's obviously, there was this one right in here. And this one we talked about representing the cycles, deception, the subconscious, your intuition. And my intuition is sitting in Leo. So there's definitely something about my spiritual abilities that are heightened. And again, I set this intention to throw for this for like this month. So this kind of tells me a lot about, you know, what's going on. The fact that the little one over here, there's definitely some things that I need to do that I haven't started working on yet, that are like outside of the reading themselves that I gotta do, as you can see. But I hope that this gives you some insight on how to do a shell divination reading. They're actually really easy to do once you build a relationship with the shells, and you kind of you work on like working with the properties, and once you have blessed them, consecrated them, and you know, did their thing with them, they're super easy to read with. And especially if you have water spirits, it's easy to just say, hey, I need some messages, I need you to tell me what's going on, I need you to tell me what's up, and then, you know, just do the reading themselves. And again, it's up to you if you want to read the reversals or not. Completely up to you. I like to include it because it does give it another layer of dimension. I know even with tarot, a lot of people don't like doing reversals in tarot readings, but it is what it is. The spirit is, you know, making the card come out or flipping the shell that way. I'm gonna take it as, you know, I need to pay attention to it. So yeah, I hope that this like helped with some clarity. Let me know if you guys wanted a shell kind of breakdown on the different meanings of different shells and stuff. Maybe we could just do a shell spiritual kind of breakdown of the different meanings of them in like a future video or something like that. Let me know in the comments if you would love to see that. This is also really great to do if you have a lot of water spirits, mermaid spirits, siren spirits, all of the things. I like to do this with my water spirits specifically because they're amazing for higher development and spiritual growth and just your spiritual education. So I do a lot of work with them for that. So this is something that I really love doing with them, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that you guys, like, next time you go to the beach, you know, take some time to walk around and intuitively pick up some components, some things for yourself, and, you know, see how you're feeling, see how, you know, how you're putting together your set. It's a really, really cool divination to do. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the love, all the support. You guys are truly just a blessing and so amazing in my life. And thank you for all of the new subscribers, Patreon members, channel members. You guys are amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will definitely see you loves in the next one. Have a very, very blessed day. Bye.